The date is October 20. This is the Wednesday edition of the news on PBCJ. I'm Carol Francis. Distribution giant Facey Commodity Company Limited will secure additional space soon. This after fire destroyed the company's Kingston warehouse on October 9, resulting in more than $1 billion in losses. The company has disclosed production and port clearance is being ramped up in order to quickly replace the goods lost. External suppliers have reportedly responded by expediting orders and commenced delivery. The cause of the fire is being investigated. Jamaica and several players in the local tourism industry have emerged big winners at this year's World Travel Awards. The island was named the Caribbean's leading destination and Caribbean's leading cruise destination. The Jamaica Tourist Board was named the Caribbean's leading tourist board. The island also copped awards in 2 new categories: the Caribbean's leading adventure tourism destination and the Caribbean's leading nature destination. A 3-day virtual partnership forum and a week-long campaign dedicated to frontline workers who continue to support Jamaica's COVID-19 response and recovery is being put on by United Nations Jamaica. The UN Virtual Partnership Forum is designed to further engage and forge relationships among development partners, civil society, academia, and the wider population for national development.
The relationship with partners should never be seen as a one-way street. No, I believe that if we work together, we can realize benefits for all of us. After all, in the end, the objective is to encourage socioeconomic development in Jamaica, raise people out of poverty, provide quality healthcare for all, ensure that all children have access to education, aid in the fight against crime and violence, help all women and men to achieve their best and highest potential, prevent the negative impacts of climate change, and achieve sustainable and inclusive economic growth. Over the next 3 days, our speakers will share best practices and talk about the initiatives being employed to expand and realize our vision for socioeconomic development.
Jamaica is proud to play an active role in advancing the aims and objectives of the United Nations. Ladies and gentlemen, Jamaica's decision to join the UN immediately after gaining political independence in 1962 was born out of the recognition of the critical importance of multilateralism. As a young nation, we recognize the power of partnerships, of international partnerships, in meeting the needs and development aspirations of our people. Over the last 59 years, our partnership with the UN, and particularly through the UN country team and specialized agencies in Jamaica, has been nothing short of transformative.
Crime Stop Jamaica is offering a $200,000 reward for anyone who gives information leading to the arrest of Davian Bryan, the man who allegedly abducted 2 girls in St. Thomas last week. Our news team spoke with Assistant Commissioner of Police Gary Griffiths of the Area 5 Division on Tuesday about the manhunt.
We are still in pursuit of Bryan. The number of police personnel covering a wide area, mostly the Johnson area, Spring Pass, to a lesser extent we're doing the general PGR Frontline road. So that's where our concentration is at this time, trying to apprehend the suspect. As you know, we would have had 2 young ladies who were abducted. Both are presently at the hospital receiving medical care. So concentration now is to pick up the suspect.
Anyone with relevant information should contact Crime Stop at 311. Persons can also contact the Morant Bay Police at 876-982-1027. That's 876-982-1027, 119, or the nearest police station. ACP Griffiths is urging the public to call only if they have pertinent information.
So I want to appeal to persons. If we're not satisfied, we have sent out some flyers, and persons should be able to identify the suspect Bryan, if you're not certain, don't call on the resources, you know, because it's either coming from this operation here, or it would draw the resources from the various stations across the park. If you don't want to understand, because there are persons who will have different need for the police service, and we can't afford the police to be all over the place.
There was a sharp increase in the US dollar on Monday. Find out the latest foreign exchange movements plus other market updates in the business report with Gabriel Thompson.
In foreign exchange trading for Tuesday, October 19, the US dollar sold for an average $152.62. The Canadian dollar ended trading at $123.90. The pound sterling traded for $210.90, and the euro sold for an average $178.17. In Tuesday's trading session, the JSE Combined Index declined by 1,583 points to close at over 405,000 units. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 90 stocks, of which 41 advanced, 43 declined, and 15 traded firm. The Junior Market Index declined by 36 points to close at over 3,000 units. Stocks advanced for 138 Student Living Jamaica Limited, Access Financial Services Limited, and Berger Paints Jamaica Limited. Stocks declined for Barita Investments Limited, Blue Power Group Limited, and Caribbean Cement Company Limited. Trading firm were 1834 Investments Limited, CAC 2000 9.5% preference shares, and Carreras Limited. Mailpack Group Limited was the volume leader with over 4.3 million units, followed by Trans-Jamaican Highway Limited with over 1.2 million units, and Siboney Group Limited with over 900,000 units. In market data for oil, prices fell on Wednesday after the Chinese government stepped up efforts to tame record-high coal prices and ensure coal mines operate at full capacity as Beijing moved to ease a power shortage. Brent crude futures dropped 73 cents to $84.35 a barrel, pairing a 75-cent rise in the previous session, but still lingering close to multi-year highs. West Texas Intermediate crude futures fell 68 cents to $82.28 a barrel. And on that note, we close this Wednesday edition of the Business Report Inside the News on PBCJ. I'm Gabriel Thompson. Pleasant viewing.
In today's Living Healthy report, Dr. Heather Lawson-Myers gets into the acid erosion of our tooth. She gives the causes and the preventative steps that can be taken.
Hi, I'm HD, coming to you today from the beautiful shores of the licensed beach, St. Thomas, Jamaica. We're going to be talking about something peculiar today, erosion. Listen. Can you hear it? It's the mesmerizing sound of the Caribbean Sea. The waves come in, they clap the shore, and then they slide away again, preparing to come up again. Very peaceful, isn't it? Maybe not. Because you see, every time the water comes with force to clap the shore, it takes away a little bit. Can you see those rocks over there? They look very jagged. It's because they have been slapped and tossed around by these waves. Can you see these smooth stones? They weren't originally this smooth. but they've been tossed and turned in the waves and smoothed to perfection. Much the same way that our teeth can be eroded with acid. Yes, you would be surprised to know how much we bathe our teeth in acid. Sodas, fruit juices, fruits, coffee, tea, red wine, and the list goes on and on. Ultimately, what happens is that the enamel is worn away, the teeth get shorter and they become more brittle, so they may be sensitive to hot, cold, or even the very same acid that's creating the problem. Acid erosion can also age your look, because as your teeth become shorter, as we would say in Jamaica, your mouth looks mashed. You look as if you don't have a full complement of teeth. You're aged. So, what can we do about it? Let me give you a few tips. If you have anything acidic in your mouth, drink water or rinse with water afterwards. It will dilute the acid. Never, ever, ever brush immediately after putting acid in your mouth. So after you've had your orange juice in the morning, that's not the ideal time to brush your teeth. If you brush immediately after putting that acid in your mouth, you're going to wear away that enamel even faster. So wait about an hour before you brush. One tip that you probably would not expect me to give you is to chew gum, but not any gum, sugarless gum. It allows the salivary flow to increase, so it helps to flush out the acid and keep things neutralized in your mouth. Just a few tips to keep you looking young. These waves are gorgeous to look at and soothing to listen to, but they cause coastal erosion, just like acid erodes our teeth. So be mindful of what you put in your mouth and drink lots of water to flush it out and keep things neutral. Listen, catch us the next time on FYI, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.
Here are some of the stories making headlines across the region. Over in Grenada, the Education Minister has announced proposed timelines for the resumption of schools on a phased basis. While vaccination is not mandatory, the government, via the Education Ministry, is encouraging teachers to take the jab and parents of students 12 years and over to get their children vaccinated.
A test period of 2 weeks from November 1st to the 12th has been scheduled for the return to physical classrooms for some students. Education Minister Emily Pierce says this shall be counted as phase 1 and priority will be given to students who have not been engaged in remote learning, as well as students preparing for exit exams. Minister Pierce says such a decision was taken after meeting with representative groups within the education sector and identifying academic, social and behavioral concerns associated with remote learning.
Secondary schools on Mondays only, forms 1 and 2. Tuesdays only, forms 3 and 4. And this is only for the students who are disconnected from classes. Primary schools, Mondays only for KG to grade 2, and Tuesdays, grades 3 to 5. 4+ students, Wednesdays to Fridays.
The minister hints at the overall decline in pass rates at CAPE, CSEC, and CPEA in mathematics and English A as other critical factors leading to the resumption of in-class learning. Teacher and student engagement disparities were also highlighted as major factors.
Primary level, grade 6 only from Wednesdays to Fridays. And secondary school level, Form 5s only from Wednesdays to Friday.
According to the Education Minister, special needs students and students with underlying conditions are encouraged to remain home, while parents still fearful of physical classes can use the 2 weeks to adapt.
Only students disconnected remotely. T.A. Marisho Community College, Mondays and Tuesdays, year 1 only. And Wednesdays to Friday, year 2s only.
Private schools reopening, Minister Pierre notes, will be done on a case-by-case basis after an electronic application is filed. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
And in Trinidad and Tobago, one People's National Movement senator defended the government's management of the COVID-19 pandemic during his maiden presentation in the Senate on Tuesday. His statements came shortly after criticism of the government's handling of the pandemic. Sunil Lala reports.
The COVID-19 deaths of over 1,600 citizens rest squarely on the hands of the Minister of Health, the Honorable Prime Minister, and the seriously clinically inexperienced medical advisors.
UNC Senator Dr. Tim Gov't made a comeback to the Parliament after being sworn in as a temporary senator on Tuesday. And Dr. Gov't wasted little time during the budget debate to lay into the government's handling of the pandemic, criticizing 3 main advisors to the government, Dr. Roshan Parashram, Dr. Avery Hines, and Dr. Miriam Abdul Richards. But Dr. Gov't was met with an equal response on the government bench.
You may have taught them, but I studied with all 3 of them. And I can attribute the caliber, the competence.
Dr. Gov't was also critical of the parallel healthcare system, which he said was not working.
You hear every day, Mr. Vice President, a parallel health system, parallel health system. But you do not really have a parallel health system in this country. It is not efficient, it is not functioning properly.
But Dr. Ibrahim recalled that Dr. Gov't commended the same system when he was diagnosed with COVID-19 last year.
But what I really remember the most was your then commendation, praise, and also gratitude for the same parallel healthcare system that you took to town.
Dr. Ibrahim also defended government's stance on only using WHO-approved drugs to treat COVID-19, despite calls from the opposition to do so.
It is just not WHO recognized and approved. We cannot do this to our nations and our citizenry, and they are not guinea pigs.
On the issue of ventilators, the government senator said the issue of supply and demand arose with the pandemic, saying procuring a ventilator for patients was not as accessible as the opposition is claiming. Sonolala, TTT News.
And in Guyana, the Ministry of Housing and Water, according to a 2021 mid-year report, is the only ministry that has expended almost 50% of its budget for the year, signaling that its major projects are on stream for completion. More details from Newsroom Guyana.
The Ministry of Housing and Water is moving apace with the massive projects under its purview, with more than 50% of its $8.8 billion budget for 21 already expended, as stated in the recently released mid-year report. And according to the subject minister Colin Croal, speaking exclusively to the newsroom at a recent housing drive, some $1 billion in payments is being made to contractors per month for works in progress. Croal said too that there is a possibility that the ministry will expend more than was budgeted for.
In reality, we will spend more than what is there on the allocation on the budget. And we are at that phase now where a number of our projects, having done the initial groundwork in terms of the land preparation and so forth, many of our projects are more in the final stage where the resources that will be paid based on interim payments will be much more. In fact, right now, we're probably paying out about $1 billion to contractors a month. So we will expend that sum that you have there.
Under the ministry's flagship project, the Dream Realized Housing Initiative, the Central Housing and Planning Authority has allocated some 2,046 house lots in regions 2, 3, 4, 6, and 10, and distributed 652 land titles in the first half of the year. And it is expected that over 7,000 house lots will be allocated across regions 2, 3, 4, 9, and 10. Works have already commenced on the construction of 300 homes for low-income earners and young professionals in Region 4 at Cummings Lodge in Prospect, with the preparation of lands to build 100 homes in Regions 3 at Edinburgh, Anna Katharina, Cornelia Ida, Metameresorg, and Stewartville. And further, the CHNPA is in the process of acquiring lands for the construction of 100 homes in Amelia's Ward in Region 10. Further, Minister Croal noted that all of the Housing Ministry's projects remain on track for their deadlines.
I have a number of projects that may have come on stream afterwards, so they will expect it to be rolled over into the new year. And so we have now completed that bridge at the Mocha Access Road, so that is complete. The 4-lane is going well for us. With no weather delays any further, we are expected to complete that by the end of this year.
Reporting for the newsroom, I am Shikima Day.
In sports, the Olympic flame arrived in China early Wednesday for the Beijing 2022 Winter Games, following a ceremony in Athens overshadowed by protests over China's human rights record. Beijing, set to become the first host of a summer and winter games, will hold a welcome ceremony for the flame at the capital's Olympic Tower. It will be on display to the public before being sent on an exhibition tour. Approximately 2,900 athletes representing 85 national Olympic committees will compete in the Winter Games, slated to be held February 4 to 20, 2022. Though a tropical nation, Jamaica has fielded bobsled teams since the 1988 Winter Olympics in Calgary, Alberta. Middle distance runner Natoya Goule was left humbled recently when she had a road renamed in her honor in the community she hails from in Manchester. The heavens opened up and poured down showers of blessings at the unveiling of the Natoya Goule sign and road at the entrance to Top Coffee Grove, the community she calls home in Manchester.
We have unveiled a sign renaming a road in her honor. And it's a beautiful road, and it's something that has been done by the Councillor Mitchell, and I want to commend him for doing that. It is important that we make our athletes feel appreciated and loved. And when you look at rural communities where a lot of our athletes are from, in those communities, we have to make the community know that Jamaica loves and appreciates persons who have come out of their communities, who have excelled and who have done well. Natoya has, along with other athletes, have brought Jamaica front and center in the world of athletics. She is a determined young lady. She has persevered, and every day she gets better. I expect even greater things from her as we look forward to the other athletics championships next year and the year after, the Commonwealth Games, the World Games, the future as we look towards the next Olympics.
The tiny but gusty middle distance runner was elated.
They say don't spread the roses when you're gone. So we're happy about this. This project is, I'm quite satisfied with it. It is at the tune of $6.5 million. We did a massive drain on it to ensure that the water runs off, and we're able to get some distance on the road. It is something I'm very proud of. I'm happy that her family is here, her supporters are here, and also members of the athletic fraternity. We're happy to have the minister and the member of parliament to show support to ensure that we have that joined up collaborative effort to ensure that we celebrate our athletes, because this is not about politics, it's about to say thank you to the nation's athletes who have done us proud.
I'm feeling very happy, and imagine seeing so many persons turn out for this event, knowing, to honor me and to name this street after me. I am feeling extremely happy, seeing old friends and new friends. It's a really warm and welcoming feeling, and I'm just happy.
She has big dreams of giving back to her community.
I've always talked about a community center. I've been trying to figure out where can we have this community center because, it's people land and, you have to buy land before you can build things on it. So, I've been trying to see if I can work that out, even with the food for the poor. So that's one of my goals for able to have a community center here so that, the kids can have somewhere to play, to even go out and, hang out and just relax and even learn as well, because you can even have a learning center as well. So I'm just waiting to see, what is in store so I can get the money to make it come to pass.
Sports Minister Olivia Babsy-Grange used the opportunity to share that an offer has been made for Jamaican middle distance runners to be trained in Kenya.
They want us to train their sprinters, and they will train our middle distance runners. And I have been having discussions with Natoya about it and her coach. So if she can go there and she get that much more training, then you can expect that much more from her. Although Jamaica has done well with our athletes. Our homegrown athletes have done exceptionally well. But as we spread our wings, we can certainly benefit also.
Certainly. Amen.
And that's our package. Join us again tomorrow, same time, same place, for more news and sports right here on PBCJ, the People's Station.